So let's start with taking a look at how to mount this AB6 so that we can start working with it. And the very first thing I'll mention is how heavy it is. It is quite heavy. Now keep in mind that it has two motors inside to make things work and all the other electronics. And for that reason, it's got this hefty DC power supply to put in it and the USB connector. And that's all we really need it for. And there's the power switch on the very back. So that sits at the back. And the front, we can see that we have, let me set it down here. And on the front, we can see that we have our toggle switch, our sliders, which are like an analog axis, and all the buttons on both sides, and a cover on the top for now. So let me just mention that the first thing we want to look at is how to get it installed. Now it comes with these two clamps, and these two clamps have rubber on the inside to help with your table, and they will fit on your table, and they will end up being lined up with the bracket. Now this bracket comes with it. It has an L bracket and it has a straight piece. The straight piece has all the lines spaced properly. That's the one that's going to be used to mount it and to figure out the height. And that's why all the holes are in there. And so when you mount it, the way to look at this is to see where are the holes that have the thread and the holes that actually have straight through holes. And what I mean by that is when you go to mount this thing, these holes go straight through. That doesn't thread at all. But when you look at this, each of these, you can see that there's a thread in there. And when you get it positioned properly, then they'll go in by hand. All right, and then it does come with an Allen key to make that happen. So the first thing you'd want to do is to figure out where you want it. In my configuration, just off camera here, there's a yoke and my Bravo, and I still use that even in the same period of time while I'm streaming. I might be flying an airplane and then switch over to a helicopter or into a fighter jet or into an old military warbird. So I need both set up all the time. So I want to put this in the middle. Now you notice from this, it's very simple to figure out where. And my suggestion is you put one screw in first. And when that first screw is in, you just kind of wiggle it around and you'll see that it threads. Now get your second screw in. Comes with a bunch of them, so we're good. Put your second screw in, and that tells you exactly where this should be. So if I take a look at that, move it over a little, I can see that that's where it should be right there. All right, and that way is the best way to do it. Put two more in down here, and then tighten up your screw. All right, now I'm just going to tighten that up, and that gives you your spacing. Make sure the two more are in. I'm just going to save you the time here in the video. So those two more are in. All right, now the next thing to do, let's make sure they're a bit tighter because I want to see what the sizing looks like. Next thing to do now, you can see I've actually got two screws in here. They go in from the back. There's the threads on them. They come in the back way now at the bottom where the L shape is. And now we've got ourselves a platform. Then that platform, if my hand is on my if my elbow is on my knee, that platform should work. But take a look at our restriction here. All right, I just want to mention to you because I'm going to change this configuration. So the next step is to just set it on. Now it does have rubber feet, but they won't fit on this thin little thing. They do have holes on the back. You can see that they have threaded holes on the back. So that means the screws will come up underneath, and that's why they're slotted. The screws can be anywhere along here on these mounting parts. So now what we'll do is we'll just set that on there, and I'm just fitting it for now. And I've noticed it actually fits between the rubber parts real simply, and it doesn't slide off. That's actually pretty cool. And now what you do is look underneath and put the screws on and make sure that they work. Now, if you don't want to do it blindly, you can take these back off again, turn it over, put them on first, put it back, and then put these back in again. All right, so now with that in place, somewhere on there, I'm not going to put screws in yet. Now we're going to take the head that I'm going to use. For those of you who are wondering, this one comes with it. This all comes in one box, as you saw earlier. And you notice that it has a DIN connector, as we call it in electronics, but it's exactly the same connector they use on the Virpil sticks, and that's what I've had here before. And that DIN connector will fit in here first, and then we'll screw the base on. All right, they'll call this the grip in whatever grip you want. This is the one that comes with this one. And so now what I want to do, before I take the tape off and insert it, I just want to see what that looks like. It's right off camera probably. It's way up the top here. I'm just going to have a quick look at how that's framed. Yeah, it's right off the camera. So right now, I have very limited movement here. I'm going to bang into everything all along the way. This does not work for me. And in the real cockpits, when you look at where the stick is down by the knees. All right, my knees are right about here. This is way too high. And I've got this extended up to here. I can actually extend it down 1, 2, 3 more screws. I can bring it down before I lose the backing here. All right, so let's try that. I want to just show you what that looks like, save you the grief, all right? So while this is sitting here, I'm going to hold the weight of it with my hand. I'm going to pull out these screws because I just hand tighten them. I'm going to put it down where the next lowest one is and just see how that looks. There we go. I'm going to move it over to that screw. And they just, you know, hand tighten. They're just normal everyday screws. These are Allen keys, by the way, and it does come with an Allen key. I'm just going to move it around till I find the hole and then hand tighten that. That's at the lowest point I can make it. Now that's not as stable. You don't have 2 points of security. You have 1 point only. So you'd really want to torque them. You will find that the lower you extend it, the more it will bounce. So you got some bounce there, all right? But it does make it lower. And I would tighten up this one more. I think I just loosely tightened that at the time. All right, so now we'll try that sizing and see how that works. I'm still hitting everything. There's no way I can fly like this. I can go full forward probably. I can come all the way back, no problem. But it's this that's going to be the problem. All right. So I need to just not use this setup. Now I know some of you will say, well, just move these out. They can move quickly, but you probably don't see it on the camera right now. If I can move this back, but I have G1000 sitting on top of that, and I got monitors after that. So I mean, this is, you know, quite the setup. But I'm going to have to do something else. So let's see what else we can do here. Let's put these down for a moment. Put this down for a moment. Let's take this off of here, and I'll show you a solution that I'm going to use in my setup. First of all, I've made a base here. This base that I've had for my Virpil works perfectly. I measured with the stick to see how high it should be. It's also connected to a piece of plywood that my pedals are connected to, which also goes to the very wall at the back. And the wall at the back keeps everything from moving. So it's just a sheet of plywood up to here with this width. And then I threw together this. I haven't even painted it. I've had this now for probably a couple of years. So now here's what I'm going to do that's different, you guys. Remember that the slotted part, the part that has the slots, not just the holes, there's the one with the holes. The one that has the slots has to go under this base so that it can secure. It has to have that flexibility for securing. So that means it has to be like this. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it down here. Just like that for the moment. All right. Let's see what that looks like on camera. Did you see the whole thing? No, let's just adjust that for you now because we're going to be lower. We'll take that down to about there. So you can see the whole thing happening right about there. All right. That's all live stuff, you guys. I'm sorry if it's a bit jittery, but now to put the screws on, I'll still have to come up from the bottom. So this will have to be elevated. But let's just test that length for now. And again, I'm just going to put this on, whether it's on the other side or this side, doesn't matter. It just fits right on there. Slides back and forth wherever I need it. I'm going to put it out to here. And I'll secure this thing once I know the height, but I don't know the height yet. All right, so now I'm lower. Going to take the stick now, put it on. Wait a second. Hold the phone. Look at that. I clear it completely. Matter of fact, that can come up a bit more. Now, if I look at my knee in comparison, my knees here, my hands here, this actually works. It doesn't have to come up any higher. This works, and it's supposed to be comfortable. Now, I could bring it up a little higher. How much space have I got here? About that much. I will have to bring that up a bit to put the screws on, so I'm still going to have to bring it up a little. And I could even bring it up a bit more. So that matters right here when I start putting the screws in right here. All right, so I'm just giving you an idea because this is how we do things. Now, it does explain everything on the book, you guys. If you can see that on the book, it does show you where the screw should go and talks all about it. So it's all here. It doesn't talk about mounting it the way I am, though, and that's what I'm about to do now. All right, so I'm going to have to put this on its side, nice and gentle. And I want to put this like this and put the screws on it. All right, so that's the next step. I might even cut the video out because it's going to take me a little bit, but maybe you want to see that. Take another couple of screws. First of all, I want to make sure these are the right screws because they give us two sizes. That looks like it should fit. Yep, beautiful. All right, so that's one. They do give us a smaller one here though for some reason. Let's just try those. I prefer hefty over small. And it doesn't matter to me how far away it is. It wants to be out about there. See why it's slotted? To find out where the actual hole is. And I think this is actually for these guys here. Not sure why they give us two sizes. I prefer the heftier ones to keep it stable. So let's go with the bigger ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just put 2 in for now for the video, but you should put 4 in. Always make it secure and sturdy as much as possible, and use the Allen key that's provided. Now I wanted it real close to the edge like this. You can adjust it after. I'm going to put it in like, oh, that's the smaller one. Oh, I see. When you bring it way over here, only the small ones fit there. Yeah, the small ones fit in here. Well, that's interesting. If I really want the big ones, I got to come out to here, which pushes it in more. These back ones will fit. I'll put big ones in the back. The slot's big enough there. Yep, that is a real plane going over top. And one down here. You can see it's still flexible. That's why they're slotted. I'll find the hole here, right there, and put that one in. Now they do come, for those who want to know, I've noticed that they do come with some blue. I don't know if you can see that on camera. They come with a blue Loctite, it's called. It's a liquid you put on your screw. When you put the screw all the way in, it'll keep it from vibrating loose. We have these on cars and aircraft. That's actually right here too, because this thing does vibrate. Screws could get loose. Comes with both Allen keys, so we'll just do one for now. And we just start tightening it up from there. All right, maybe I'll take the camera off for the moment. I'll fast forward this part of it, because I wouldn't recommend you use power screwdrivers on this, because people strip the screws all the time using power screwdrivers. I'm going to be right about there. Get this one all the way in. This part's boring, sorry you guys, but we'll just probably cut it all out. You can see how easy that is. The other end is actually a Phillips screwdriver, so that's handy. I guess we're going to need it at some point. I'm just going to do this. Get that all the way in. And there we go. Now I'm going to put one more up here just because, wherever that screw is, just because, is it there? Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. It's going to have to be the little guys. Yep. I'll put one in here just so that it doesn't tilt downwards. So it's probably right around here somewhere. I thought I saw it right there. So I would adjust these ones back and forth so that this one fits. But that's fine. Let me just have a look at that now. Ah, it's up there. So I would loosen this, push it forward a bit more, and then the top screws would fit in right there. Okay. Easy enough. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. Now, in this case, I'm not going to rest them on the screws, so I am going to raise it up. That's fine for now. And once I get this thing working, those have to be really tight because this will vibrate. Now, I'm going to put that like it should be, looking like that. My knee in the way. And what I'm going to do is raise it up a bit. It's sitting on the 2 screws now at the back. I'm going to raise it up just a touch more. And then I'm just going to put my screws in. So I've already got some ready to go here. These are my mounting screws. For now, I could leave it the way it is and demo it, all right? Because there's no screws in. But what I would normally do is put these in with a power screwdriver into wood. No problem, as long as you've got a clutched drill. A clutched drill simply means that, make sure that this setting is on, make sure the setting is on for screws, and the clutch simply means at what point does your drill not turn the screw anymore. Here's the example. Oops. Here's the example. I'm screwing it in and it hits the wood. When you hear that, it's not actually moving. That's a clutch. I've got it set for 10, all right? That's a bit mild, so I'm probably going to be around 14. It'll still work, and that keeps it from over torquing and stripping the wood. That's why we do it. All right, need some kind of attachment here. I'll use that. Nope, it doesn't exactly stay in there. It's not exactly pinching it. Okay, well, I'll just have to make sure it doesn't fall out. And then in this case, I'll just put these in. And normally they're magnetic. These ones aren't. And what we do is you just take these, any screw hole you want, and you would put them in. Now, if I wanted to raise that up a bit, I'd use a spacer underneath, and then you need a good battery. Anyway, that would be in solid. Now we're going to put the top on. And you'd put a couple more, of course. A couple more, and if it is raised up, put 4 in. All right, you've got lots of screw holes there and lots of wood there. Put 4 in. All right, now this just warns. This is a good thing to leave on until you really need it off, because you don't want that connection getting dirt in it. First thing we do now is put the connector on first. You don't just shove it on, it won't work. And that connector is very delicate. Those pins are tiny. So you really got to get it right. Now on this type of connector, there's an arrow. I see an arrow right there. You probably can't see that in the camera. I'll take a close-up view maybe and show it to you. All right, so then you got to find the arrow on here. Well, I don't see an arrow, so that didn't help a lot. But there is an up and down screw like this and an indentation on the top. So you just have to figure it out. Now, one thing you can do, pull it out a little more, and you can actually just turn it. This is a tough thing to do. My arm's probably in the way. But what you're going to do is you're just going to gently turn it until it falls into place. There is an indent right there. And that indent looks like it goes here. After you're done, you can turn this anywhere. So you just have to line it up and see if it'll actually fit. That's a tough thing. This really is a delicate thing, you guys, and people have wrecked these before and sent them back. So just be careful with it. I'm going to try it like this. See if that fits. And if it fits, it'll go in. Don't force it. It's delicate. And that seems to fit, but it's not going in. Well, maybe it is. Let's have a look. Oh, it's all the way in. Okay. So let's see if we can make you see that. Is it all the way in? Almost all the way in. All right. I just gently pushed it, and then it went. Okay, we're good. So if you can see that, I've got it all the way to the point where what I'll do, you guys, even while we're on the video right now, I'll take a picture to show you. And we'll get right in there and let you see what that looks like. It's flush. It wasn't hard to do. And that'll be a nice picture for you that'll overlay right on top. Now that that's in, that's all that's needed. Now you put this where you want it. I'm going to just push it down gently. I'm going to back it up a bit, counterclockwise, just to make it fit in. And then turn it clockwise until I feel like it's actually touching something. Right there. Counterclockwise, just to get it fitted. And it's tricky. That wire has to go all the way back inside. It feels like it should be like that. All right, let's see why this isn't working for me. Because there's a spacer on it. Aha, and that's spacer. Take it off. And now this goes up and down the way you want it to. Beautiful. Now I can see why it didn't do it right. I should have read the directions. Can you see that, or is my head in the way? All right. Down we go like that. Back it up till it clicks. Go forward. And see if it's actually grabbing. Not grabbing at all. This is the trickiest part, and it's the same with other brands. You got to make sure that actually works. And once it works, it's going to be solid. Right there feels good. Don't let this twist too much up top. That's not supposed to twist up top. And it will feel this loose until it starts to grab. There we go. And now I'm going to tighten it as much as I can. Hand tighten. Don't use a wrench. Hand tighten, and it's good. I have myself a stick. Now you might want to put that on ahead of time before you start mounting it. But it might get banged around or might get crushed or whatever. So I like putting it on afterwards. And you can also change the stick too. All right, you can, now this is a good thing to know too. This is right now a right-hand stick. You can see there's where my hand rests, right there. But take a look here. I see screws right here. All right, can those screws go over here? Maybe. I haven't tested this yet. but this is a right-hand stick. Your hand rests on here, the weight of your hand rests here, and everything works. Your thumb fits here, your thumb works this stuff, your fingers work this stuff, and you've got a trigger finger at the back. And you've got another button down here. So this works for me. It's going to be good for helicopter cycling. It's going to be good for all the military jets that I fly. And everything really feels good quality. This feels like metal. So, you know, this is good. And this is what I liked about Virpil, but Virpil wasn't force feedback, you guys. So I'm working with this now. And I do have a force feedback yoke, but in this setup here, I still have the old one. I'll be putting the MOZA yoke on here at the top. You don't see it right now, but so I'll have both. So I have gotten used to the software and the setup for the yoke. Now I'm going to do it for the stick. All right, so everything's done there now. That would normally be connected. At the back is the power supply and the rest of the things that we need to hook up, and then away we go. This feels good. It's the right height. I can rest my hand on my knee, and it's naturally there without any weight. And I think that's important. Nothing hitting. This is what I want. So now we're going to show you how to hook it all up. Now that I've undone all the ties on it, here's the main power supply here with a normal plug on one end and the special plug on the other, which will go to the stick. All right, and so that special plug with its 4 prongs on it and a special connector, you'll just want to make sure that you have that set properly. And it's pretty simple on the very back. And let me take the screw back out again for a second. All right, so on the very back, when you look on the back of it, I'll just turn it around like this. Then you'll see that the special connector, it's a special connector with one part where it has a springy part that will lock it in. That springy part just sits up at the top. Let's turn it around, give you an idea exactly what we're talking about so you can actually read it. It says DC input. I just want to see if that's framed. DC input, and we're just going to take this and plug it in just like that and just wiggle it to make sure it works. Okay, and then there's one other thing we want to plug in, and that'll be the USB cable itself. And this is one of those square USB cables. The other end is your normal USB, and again that just goes right beside it. Easy enough. There's a curved part. Put the curved part to match, plug it in, and wiggle it. We're good. We're done. That's how simple it is, and the system will see it. Now you can do that by feel, or you can do it ahead of time before you actually put all your screws in, whatever works for you. Now the system doesn't see it yet because I haven't hooked up the power. Now when I do this setup, I'm going to actually use tie wraps over here and keep this out of the way for my feet. So I can work on that later. I probably would also paint this thing black, but you know, I'm not too worried about that. I don't have people come into the studio and then grade my system. I'm not worried about any of that. Last thing to do is to hook up the power to the actual adapter, and away we go. Should be some kind of indicator there. Nothing at all. There we go. All right, it took a while. I'm going to leave that there so you can see that it's working. And now when you take a look at it, nothing's happening so far. So what do we need to do? There's a power switch on the back of it. All right, if you remember when you saw the picture at the back, somewhere at the back, you'll find just feel for the knob. There's a little knob. I'm going to hold that. Lights come on. That first indication means that, and watch what happens, that first indication means that the connector you put on is working properly, and it's doing its initialization right now. It's figuring out all of its parameters. And when it did that last snap, looks like it's there. Lights have come on. Lights have come on. All right, I'm not taking this tape off yet, but with this, there's a little protective tape there. I'll find out what else is here. It also put these full forward. So that's cool. Now what I want to do is show you software. So I'm going to be recording what's on my screen so that you can see what's happening. Whoops, I just touched the microphone. Okay, so I'm going to be recording what's on the screen so that you can see what's happening. So I'm going to keep both videos going, and I'll put one video, whichever one needs to be the focus, I'll put that into view. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll bring up the software. So the next step will be to get it working. Now, while the power's on now, it's gotten really stiff. Don't like it that stiff. That's going to really be hard to control. So Take a look at the software here. Now I'm showing you this screen. It's noticed that I have this hooked up. All right, when I had my yoke hooked up and the yoke base, it showed those two. Here it's showing both of those. So I'm going to go to the AB6 software, and I'm just going to simply set up some settings. First of all, integrated. I'll talk about these as we go along, but I want to show you what this looks like. First of all, you can auto-calibrate, and that's what you saw when I first powered it on, and it looks pretty good here. Red is over green. We're pretty good. What I want to do is change my maximum torque, my overall intensity, all of this stuff to start with, but this is the big one, spring. And this is the same with the yoke. Spring is what's keeping it in the middle. And in a helicopter, they don't have a spring to keep it in the middle. All right, so a simple thing like that, and now, oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly where I need it. And it's not flopping back over. It's got some spring in it to bring it around. I like the feel of this already. This is going to let me fly. So this is what you need to figure out your preference and then save the preset. Right now at the top of the screen, you notice it says preset idle auto. There is no preset. But if you go down here to the three, it's almost like a hamburger menu, but it actually looks like an equalizer menu. It's really the preset area where we can pick up stuff. And you can see in here, there are some set up for all kinds of things already, local presets. I can scroll the list and see if it's something that I'm going to be flying right now. There's the 172. I fly a lot, the Bell 407, turboprops, all kinds of planes that would have the stick, or wouldn't have the stick. That would. Spitfire would for sure. You know, these planes, and that would be a good one to test. All right, now all you do when you do load this preset, it will go and change the settings for you. All right, I'm confirming that. And now when I look back at the base like this, it changed things. All right, it took spring rate back to nothing. All right, that's kind of interesting. So this should, when you push it over, it should stay there. Wow. All right, so that's what spring means. It's simulating the spring inside conventional joysticks. And like in a helicopter, there is no spring. Now, there's already some friction there when I move it. There is some friction. It doesn't just flop over. Other sticks, I've taken the springs out, and it just flops all over the place, and there's no resistance whatsoever. In real sticks, there's resistance, and that really feels good already. All right, but I'm going to put a bit more spring back in like that, and now there's a bit more resistance there. You'll play with all of these settings for sure, and you need to go and try each of these just to see how it goes. Take a look at this. You can play with the lights, expert settings where you do some things that you may want to adjust, and this takes time. So I would say start with a preset first, work with that, start slackening things or tightening things using the software, and figure out what works for you. All right. Over here it says axis travel. You can start playing with the curves themselves, which I typically do. Typically they're shallow to start and then more intense as you go up. And you can just pick some presets in there, like these ones here. All right. Those are the typical ones that I use, and they're already sitting there. It's amazing. All right, so it's really just go in here like this and just see. I'm going to use the Spitfire one with a little bit more spring. I'm good. Now I need to just fire up, and away I go. I'm just going to move that over and fire up my sim, and we'll continue on with the sim from there. I'm going to record the screen up there separately so that you can see it. I've opened up the system. I've gone and picked the Spitfire, and I'm going to go pick an area that I'm recording right now. I'm working on a Jurassic Park movie in the flight simulator. It's going to be a lot of fun. Set that as our departure. Let's set some time so we can see what's going on. Somewhere around noon. Probably work. And start the flight. And what I want you to notice as I start the flight, what happens to the stick. Alright, it's going to start simulating right away. It hasn't had any assignments given to it yet. It does nothing to the plane yet. But watch what happens. Start flight. Right there. Already. This is something you never see in a normal stick. It's already got vibration as if the engine's running, which it probably is. Yeah, the engine is running, yeah. I didn't even have to start it up. Wow. So ready to fly. Let me make sure my parking brake's on. Now, let's go inside. I just want to have a quick look because I don't think there's any assignment at all. If I go left, right, up and down, nothing's going on. Alright, now I haven't secured this really well. I'd want to tighten those screws on everything. Right now I pulled back and it's still a bit loose, so you don't want that.
All right, so let's go take a look now. That's closed and feels good, and yeah, everything's working in there. So the startup sounded all right. Let's go make the assignment now. All right, so we're going to press escape, go to settings, and let's just figure this out. So controls, and what I want to do is go to the MOZA AB6 force feedback base. That's what it's called. And we take a look at it, none and none. And you can click away all you want. There is none. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on settings and I'm going to create one right now. I'm just going to call it MOZA basic, because I'm doing nothing with it yet. All right. And also in the airplanes control, I'll do the same thing. A lot, you know, and the difference between some of these is the analog to digital kind of idea. Some of them are digital and some of them are not. Now it says apply to all airplanes. I'm not going to do that because some airplanes I don't use a stick. So there, now I've got two profiles that are blank set up, MOZA basic and MOZA, and then specific to the Spitfire I don't really care because I'm just going to do it for ailerons and elevator. It's really what it's for. And then you can map any of those buttons for anything else. This should be mapped for views. I can show you how to do that really quickly. But let me just give you a quick idea here. Boy, it's got such a nice feel to it. This is first time, you guys. I haven't had this thing out of the box. This is it. And we're releasing it on the 30th at 9 a.m. Like, that's when we're allowed to finally release anything to do with this. So what I'm going to do is type in... Whoops, I think I bumped the camera. We good? Yep. I'm going to type in aileron. How about without the E? Aileron. There we go. So aileron axis is what we're after right here. I'm going to click that, and I'm just going to go back and forth. And that's the x-axis. We're good. All right. Now I'm going to type in elevator. Look how simple this is, you guys. Elevator. Remember, all the sensitivities and all the fine-tune settings will do inside the MOZA cockpit software, like we showed you earlier. Like this one right here, I'll put it back on the screen. This is where you do all of your fine-tuning in this thing. And there's the base, and there's your basic settings. And this is where we played with some of these settings, or we pulled in our profile. So that's fine there. That really fine-tunes it and talks to the unit. Here we're just saying which axis is which. All right, and so now we're looking for the elevator axis, which is back and forth. And I'm just going to take the stick now and just go, oops, I'm going to say scanning. Let me just click on scanning and back and forth. It should pick up the y-axis. There we go. All right, so now we've got the basic setup. Now you might want the views also. We could show you how to do that. We can simply go into what they call quick view. I'll just do some of those. All right, there's quick view. Now, quick view left and right. So quick, that's external. These have to be backwards because when you see the plane from the outside, you want to be looking in the opposite direction. So this will mess you up. So I'm going to say left, but I'm actually going to push right. You'll see that later on. I'm going to use the hat switch here, and I'm going to go to the right. All right, click that to the right. All right, and then now for the right, I'm going to go left. That's for external. Now for internal cockpit quick view, I'll do the normal left and right. Left, right. I don't know if I got that one right. Let me just do that. Sort of went sideways on me. I mean, didn't go sideways. It sort of hit two of them. So, and here's the right one. I'm using my left hand here. That's why. There we go. Right. Yeah, it sort of went down, didn't it? Okay. Now you can do the rear also, backwards, and then quick view up, and I'm going to go forwards. That'll give me some views while I'm flying the plane. Same with the rear, the external view rear. We'll go and do that one, and quick view external, quick view top, and we'll do that one. So there. Now we've got at least a way to look around. Firing and any other things you might need, targeting and all that. We'll leave it for now. Lots of buttons here for other things. If you're going into DCS, you're going to need all of them. I'm going to save the whole thing, and let's just see how that works so far. From outside the plane, and she's vibrating away now. That feels good. It feels like the engine's vibrating right through it. One of the advantages I find when I had my Virpil too, mounting it on this box, which is also connected to the pedals plywood, the vibrations from this, I'm noticing, can come through to my feet. And that makes perfect sense now. It's physically connected to my pedals. I like that. I'm getting it through my pedals, even though these are just basic pedals, right? Now, what I want to do, notice the the wind from the propeller is actually moving the elevator. Look at it. That's kind of cute. All right, so if I hold her steady, there we go. Okay, it's staying steady. I'm going to go left, right. When you go to each aileron, it should put your thumb up. All right, I'm going to go left. The aileron should go up. Yep. Go right. The aileron should go up. There we go. All right, pull back. The elevator should go up. And push forward, the elevator goes down. All right, we got everything we need. We're on the external view. Let's have a look. That did nothing. Wow, none of my external views are working. Okay, how about my internal views? They're not working either. Well, that didn't work so well, did it? Maybe I have to use this one for views, or this one. I've got 3 different hat switches here. This might be analog, that's why it might not be working. All right, so we won't worry about that. I do have it up here if I need it. But I shouldn't need it. Let's just get going. All right. I think the runway's down. No, runway straight ahead probably. Let's do it this way so you see what's going on. Take off my parking brake. Give it a little bit of power. And we've got a lot of right rudder to put in here. The stick's really working it. All right, full blast. And I'm really working the right pedal here. I should have set my trim and I didn't. Let's just get off the ground here and get going. This is Jurassic Park area. Ooh, wow. All right, first flight with the stick. Boy, does that feel nice. So it was really wobbling a lot. Let me put my gear up. It was really wobbling a lot when I was sitting on the ground with the propeller going across the surface. And now that it's higher RPMs, this thing is a lot smoother. It's humming. I feel the hum, but it's a lot smoother now. Come back inside. This feels great. I don't have my head tracker on. I have nothing going, but man, I just think it and it goes. Hey, there's some dinosaurs. Look at that. I don't want to scare them. I just want to see them up close. This feels natural. This is first flight, you guys. I haven't tested it ahead of time. I'm not an actor. And this feels great. I'm loving it. It's working for me. And there's where I came from right there. All right. Now, I'm just trying to figure out whether it should need more feedback or whether this is fine. I'm feeling vibrations from the engine in here. It's feeling great. Now let me come back down and land and we'll see if we'll see what that feels like. Give you guys an outside view so you can see what's going on here. I keep bumping the camera for this, so sorry. I've got it in the wrong position. All right, let's put some gear down. Maybe too fast for gear down. All right. Don't use flaps till the very end with this plane. Yeah, it was just too fast. Flaps are only for landing on here. There's only one setting, and that's down. And it's like 89 degrees or something like that. Now I'm going to stall, so I better watch my speed here. No, that's still a good speed. All right, let's have a look over here. And I think next time I'll position that, the stick camera, I'll call it, I'll position that a little better because every time I reach over to the yoke for views, it doesn't work so well. I see something down there in the field. Yeah, there's something down there too. Ooh, yeah. As I'm turning to final, I see some more dinosaurs. Oof. All grazing there. All right, pull back a bit more power. I'm going a bit too fast. Flaps are coming down. Should be right around here. Right, oh yeah, right around there, Howard. And we're going to land on the grass. Going too slow. Watching dinosaurs instead of watching the screen. Yeah, that's real good demonstration. And boy, the stick just kind of jerked. You saw it. It jerked in my hand. Let's go back and see that again. All right. Let's see if I can smooth my flying out here. Now, you notice I'm not doing too much with the stick here. I'm just sort of thinking it, and it happens. Let's just look over here now. Right about there is where I want to be. All right, flaps are down. Cut power. Let's see if I can smooth this out again. Not really the perfect kind of circuit, but you know, in planes like this, you don't do circuits. Did I see a runway around here somewhere? Oh yeah, right there. Let's watch my speed as I come in. There we go. All right, I got to get this under control. Kind of smooth it out. And see if I can pull this in. Now, I've got to a lot of sensitivity. Every time I pull up, it kind of bounces. So I just have to figure that part out. Oh yeah, as soon as it touched the ground, did you hear the snap? Gotta put my brakes on. It's really fighting me here. It's hitting bumps on the road. I love it. Absolutely love it. That wasn't the smoothest of landings, but you know, that's how it goes. This thing, the minute my wheels touched, you heard a bang? That's because it's not secured properly. I've only got 2 screws loosely on the bottom and 2 screws into the wood, so it's still moving. So this has got to be fixed, of course. This thing, it's a force feedback device. You've got to secure the thing. But that snap was actually the thing moving around on the base, right? That was great. The actual putting it in the... Let me put my flaps up. That's the wheels touching the ground. Even if I taxi now, that great big 12-cylinder Merlin on there just yanks the front of that plane over to the left. I got full right rudder right now. Look at the thing. Oh, I'm going to run out of space here if I don't get going. Oops, a little too fast. Oh, it can take off on the grass. What the heck? So you're supposed to put in some trim, you guys. Let me get hold of this stick now. You're supposed to put in a lot of trim here because you're going to have that left moving tendency of the thing. Pull up the gear. All right, so let's give it a shot here using the... oh, what a gorgeous area to be in. I think we're under the falls, yeah. This is the, these are actually the falls from in the movie. I think it would be the 2015 movie number 4 in the series, where the kids jump off the falls and plunge to the water and do all right. Let me just say okay with that. Now, the stick's not going to do anything. Again, when you get a new one like this, let me turn down the waterfall. Well, it sounds nice, but let me turn it down a bit. And let's just do the mapping again. We'll do the same thing because there's no helicopter profile. Settings, controls, and we'll go over here to MOZA. And we want to make a new one just for the helicopter. So this will be for the cyclic, right? So this will be a new one. All right. None of those are working. Fine. Actually, nothing's working. Okay, something's very wrong there. All right, so let's just try something here. We'll just try cyclic. All right, and this will be cyclic left, right, down, and up. All right, that's what we'll work on right now. Cyclic left. Now it wants the new profile. Okay, we'll work it. We'll work it. And this will be, I'll just call it MOZA. And I'll just say basic. Right, and that's our left. Now we'll go right. Now we'll go down. And we'll go up. Oh, that's not what we want. I'm sorry. We want to use lateral and longitudinal. Yeah, that's how long it's been since I've done a profile. Okay, then let's just get rid of those. Maybe it's good for you to see us getting rid of them. Back again to here, get rid of it. And that's unnecessary footage, Howard. Okay, no problem. So now we'll go back. Oops, I didn't delete it. There, and back. We're good. So lateral axis and longitudinal. So laterals back and forth, left and right. Longitudinal, just think of the longest part of the helicopter from tip to tail, forward and back. There we go. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I need. Now I don't have a cyclic. I'm going to probably use my throttle. Let's see if that works. There we go. Now you should see something even just going forward. Yep. Back, left, and right. And this is always a good thing to do even in helicopter training. When you do a little bit of, see if this will work for cyclic. I mean for collective. Yeah, so with a little bit of power, you should be able to go to the right and go up on your skid. This is what they do in real flight training. Forward and back, and you're getting a feel for it, right? So they call it light on the skids, right? So now let's go straight up. we go. And this will work. I don't have my collective right now, my Virtual collective, but I do have a throttle control. So for now, all right, let's just bring us around. As gorgeous as that is, let's just go over somewhere like this and get a feel for this. Oh, wow. Okay, it's very sensitive. Let's do that. Follow the yellow brick road. Well, that's pretty smooth already, but I'm not feeling any feedback. I'm feeling resistance, but I'm not feeling vibrations. So maybe I should put it back down again. Let me see, find a nice flat spot somewhere. Maybe there isn't such a thing here. Let's just go over the hill here and just find a flat spot somewhere. Let's get inside so I can see what I'm doing here for torque. Yeah. Well, maybe there's something over here. I'm used to my head tracker. I should turn that on. I don't have the camera set up right now. We'll stop at the top of the hill. And we'll go from there. It's alright, so let me see if I can get control of this. I'm kind of moving it around, and I shouldn't. I should, with any helicopter, you should be smooth moves. Don't let it fall, right? So like that. Get back in. Yeah, that's way too jerky. I'm gonna have to fix the, yeah, everything I'm correcting here is kind of too fast. Oh, I'm feeling that now. Alright, that's feeling it. Alright, I pulled it way back. So, I'm at the lowest throttle setting, and the stick is really moving now. Yep. Alright, see if we can make it over the fence. Get past the dinosaur fence. Made it. Give it a little power here so I can come down a little gentler. Oh, way too much power. And then cut the power completely. Alright, so now I gotta fix something here. Alright, so, you know, the helicopters definitely are more sensitive anyway. I'm going to settings now. Now, what would I do with the MOZA cockpit software? I'll do that in a minute, but on the controls here, what I want to do is take this setting here. Oh. I thought we made one for... Okay, I thought we made one specifically for this helicopter. Let me just search by input. Okay. Yep, okay, so that's fine. Alright, that's working. So now what I want to do is take that axis now and play with it. So I want to go here and maybe do something with that. There's my left, right. And it's just completely diagonal like that. So what I want to do is pull back the sensitivity, maybe like that. From the center, no, from the center we want it to be smoother like that. So that means as you move, there's not much input yet till you get over to here, and then it really jerks. So this is good for, and you might even want a flat spot in there too, the dead zone. Like that. So even your slightest movement doesn't make it jerk all over the place, right? So that's the sort of thing we're after. Go back. Now let's go to back to here. Let's search by input forward and back and go play with that curve right here and go in there. Now this is forward and back. Same sort of thing, all right? It's going to be here in the middle to start, so it's going to be one of those curves where you want it to probably go like that, and same with the top one. So now you get a little bit of input and then a lot, all right? And again, you might want to play with that dead zone a little bit, just so that the slightest movement doesn't make it go. Let's see how that works anyway. Shouldn't be a lesson in helicopters. This is a lesson in setting things up. I'm going to resume, give it some power, and let's see what happens. What a nice effect that is. Alright, so far it's pretty smooth. I'm just going to go to the right with my pedals. And now I'm going to bank to the right. Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Yep, much smoother. Alright. Now I look like a better helicopter pilot. Follow the road. Alright. And let me just bring the stick over to the right. If you have to, put your arm against your leg and then your movements will be smoother. If you just leave it out here like this, things get kind of jerky, right? Looking good. All right, that's just, you know, it shouldn't be a lesson in helicopters, it's a lesson in fixing the stick. Now, the other thing I want to do, and I'll just pause it at the moment, I'll just hit pause, go into here, and now what I want to do is, the spring is good, damper's good. What I want to do in this case, and that's the Spitfire one, so I don't really want the Spitfire one, right? Go here. They don't have anything for a helicopter. Thunder, Yak, Mustang, Tank Killer, Frog. So they don't have one specifically, so I'd have to make a new one, right? Phantom, Top Cat, Turboprop, Jet Aircraft, all of these, none of these are for this. So the local key preset, I'd have to make my own. So I'm going to go back to here and set it the way I want it. So I want that maximum output. Spring is good, damper is good, but we want to, maybe with the telemetry, we might want to do something different here. All right, and then same with going into expert settings, you might want to place some more in here. All right, the advanced one here, and start playing with some of these settings. So whatever you set up, and then set it aside, and then go from there and just see how it goes. And again, whoops, better get the stick going here. Oof. And that really hit me. So I have to figure out some of the feedback stuff, you guys. So far, I'm not feeling a lot of feedback until there's drastic movements. There should be vibration, because there's a lot more vibration in a helicopter than there is in any other aircraft. Let me just take it to an extreme here. Yeah, that's really rattling. Trying to stop it real quickly, and then cushion the fall. Now, I don't have my collective here, so I'm just using throttle. Yeah, I didn't feel the bump when it hit either. So I got to figure that out, you guys. It certainly worked with the Spitfire, but it's not working here. But that gives you an idea how it works. The whole thing about, you know, how the resistance that's there, how it springs back to center, all of those things. Oh, right now, look at it. It's in extreme cases on the screen. I'm only looking at this. I'm not even looking at flying. And look at it bouncing around as it's bouncing around on the ground. It's really, it does have some feedback there. Anyway, lots of fun, you guys. Enjoy, and hopefully this has been an insight for you. We'll see you again soon.